Hey guys, remember this? Haven't used it in a while. What is it? Oh, oops. It is a Hickok Cardmatic Model 121. It's a tube tester. In particular, it's a tube tester that doesn't have a bunch of switches and push buttons and whatnot. What it has, get them out, is punch cards. So the idea is there are punch cards for every tube type. Here's a 4CB6. So if I want to test a 4CB6, I flip through here, locate the card, and I push down the plunger and pop it in, pop in my tube, and this sets up all the parameters for the plate, filament, grid voltage, and such. I really like using this, and this was designed for TV servicemen. That's what they marketed it to back then. Why? Well, a few reasons, aside from the convenience of having to flip all the switches. If you want to test something like a 12AU7, 6SN7, which are very commonly used in TVs, they're dual element tubes, dual triodes. And attached like my Hickok 600A, it's to test each side individually and change all the switches and do one side then the other. This can do both sides, and it also immediately does a shorts test. You don't have to rotate through all the elements. We have individual lights for each element. So you pop in the card, pop in the tube, and you just wait for it to warm up, and if there's shorts, you don't have to do anything. The lights just start lighting up. To test the tube, you push a button to do one side. You push this and push this to do the other side. So like testing a 6SN7, which I go through a lot of, I can test very quickly. So why haven't I been using this more? I don't have all the cards. It comes with a basic set, which I have, and a few years back I gambled and bought a random stack off of eBay, and maybe a third of them were duplicates, but there were some more I didn't have. But for example, when I was doing Predictas, half the tubes in Predictas aren't in here. No 9BR7, no 10DE7, so I stopped using it. Well, why am I talking about it? Because I just took another gamble. I wouldn't call myself a gambling man, but now and then I take a risk. So I just bought 400 Cardmatic 121 cards off of eBay. He only showed 10 of them, but of the 10 that he showed, I think there were 7 or 8 that I did not have. So I figured it was worth the risk. I paid $100 for him. I think he was asking $125. I made him an offer. He immediately accepted, so maybe I should offer him less. But I figured, hey, it comes out to 25 cents a card. And hey, if a quarter of them are ones I need that I don't have, I figure I'm doing okay. So the box just arrived a short while ago. I have not opened it up. Let's see what we got. Now there is another model. This is sort of the ugly stepchild, the one that nobody really cares about. Well, you see talked about a lot is the 123. What's the difference? The 121, it's all solid state. Now, the reason I like it, no type 5Y3 or 83 tube like the older Hickoks, but it is mutual transconductance, but it's all solid state, so it just goes. Well, what's the difference? The 123 has tubes in it, but also it's how it generates the voltages. This is old school inside, and the way it works. For the filament selector, it has a tap transformer with, I don't know, 20 different taps for different filament voltages, 5 volt, 6.3 volt, 12.6 volt. The higher end 123 uses a series pass regulator. It has a gas regulator tube for a reference and uses, I think, a 6L6 pass regulator. In other words, it regulates DC voltage, sort of like a digital analog converter with the card, where it sets the filament voltage in a controlled manner, whereas this is more analog, and you do have to do a line test and set this accordingly. But this just works, it just goes. The 123 has a bunch of tubes in it that need to be serviced. So, anyways, let's see what we got. So yeah, like 8 interesting rings. So like old school snap rings, kind of rusty. So like 8 AU8. Immediately when I saw it, that's a tube I don't have. What I'd really like to get, so yeah, this is all series strung tubes, and they're good, they're organized. So these are all the 8 volt tubes, starting from 8 AU8 and going to 8 SN7. What I really don't have, and I'd really like to get someday, not that I do it a lot, I mean, it's not a big deal, but there are 4 or 5 sockets on here I've never used. 4-pin, 5-pin, 6-pin, old school. This can do tubes going back to like a Type 80, a Type 27, a Type 45. I don't have any of those 2-digit cards at all. And I don't know anybody who does, but it does support them. And it's not like I can order them from Hickok anymore. Anyways, I'll stop rambling and see what else we got. So a bunch of 3 series cards. Going from 3EA5 to 3E6. So good, these are all organized in numeric order. 5BW8 to 5BT8. So let me pull out my 5 series and let's just start taking a look. There's the 3s and the 4s. There's 12s. So, or no, we can do the 8s. So I already know from looking through mine. Let's see. So starting with the 8s, I have 8W8. 2 cards for that, for different testing, different parameters. 8CG7, and that's it. I have 2 8-volt tube cards. That's it. So this entire stack, I don't have. Aside from those 2 cards, I don't have any of these. So just right off the bat, I just got a whole stack that I can make use of. So that's great. Let's see, what are my 5s? There's my 5s. So I got 5E, 5J, 5V. I got a few 5s. And starting here, not a ton, but I got some. So let's see what the new ones. So like 5BW8. Oh no, I already know I don't have that one. Alright, how about a 5BK7? Do I have a 5BK7? I do. Okay. Let's check the next one. BQ7. Yep, I got that. Those are fairly common. So with that second batch I bought, did have a lot of these 4 or 5 volt tubes, as I recall. 5BR8, 5BS8, 5BR8. So I don't have a 5S8, but it seems like I do. There's definitely some overlap with the 5s. Okay, all right. Let's go on. See what else we got. Bunch of 12s. Something else I'm missing with my current stack is the Loctal tubes. I have very, very few. For example, I'm working on a Filka right now, wrapping one up. It's 7x7. I don't have a card for it. So it'd be cool if 7x7 was in here and a bunch of the other Loctal tubes. Ton of 12s. Oh, there's some of the industrial tubes too. Yeah, so this goes to 117, that's where mine ends, but now we got bonus. Like a 5879, a 5881, a 7189. Oh, not too many. And transistors, yes, this does actually have rudimentary tests for like germanium transistors. I've never actually tried testing one, but it can. And you can test selenium rectifiers with it, allegedly. I've never ever really needed to. And for some reason, we got 50s and then back to 117s. Oh, I see. The stuff got flipped around. Alright, so yeah, there's definitely a bunch in here I don't have. Ooh, we got a blank. So I'm sure some of you are familiar with this, I think. Make your own. Yes. Yes. You could look up the tube specs, and I don't have the guide, but there is one that would tell you what holes to punch for a certain filament voltage, plate voltage. And then you got to figure out what settings to use to get the transconductance reading right to tell if it's a good tube or a bad tube. Like, I don't have the patience, time, or energy to do any of that. But yes, it is possible. Easiest thing to do, like if you have a 6AU6 and you want to make a 3AU6 card, well, I think it changes the filament voltage basically, so those wouldn't be too tough to do. Yeah, I can already tell there's some 6s in there I don't have. Like I'm pretty sure I don't have a 6AJ4. Interesting too, like some of these say circuit P, circuit T. My older cards don't say that. I wonder what that means. Is that the type of testing mode it does? Or what? or the card pack that it came with. There's a lot of 12s in here, so I'm sure there's a bunch of these that I don't have. So I'm going to find the 9s or 10s because I am curious to see if it would have those predicted tubes in it. A ton more 6s. This is the last pack, so I'm guessing not. So it's interesting. So wherever these came from, I'm wondering, well, there's a little bit missing. So we got, it seems there's a little bit of a gap. Unless, let me find that 8 pack. It seems like it goes from 8 to 12. And there's no, and that goes from 12 to 50. There should be some 18, there should be some 25 volt tubes, a bunch. Maybe some 17s. So here's that 8. Yeah, it ends at 8 SN7. So where were the 9s and the 10s? And we were the 7s, so I still don't have any. Well, these are the old ones I already have. I don't have the Lockable tubes. So whatever set this came from, maybe it got split up. I'll have to ask the seller, like, do you have more of them? Because this is, I mean, this is great what I got. There's definitely a bunch in here I don't have. But whatever tester these came from, this can't be all there was. Like, there's probably 3 or 4 packs missing. But as far as the 3, 4, 5, 6s, and 12s, yeah, that was a score. Now the fun part, I get to mix and match these with the ones I already have and identify the duplicates and redo the binding. And these are not all going to fit back in my tester because it's filled to the brim as it is. One thing I do like to do is for the duplicates, like a 6AU6 super common tube. I have 2 of them. I have 2 cards. I leave one of them loose, so I don't have to go digging for it. I'll do this with a few other common tubes. If I have dupes, I'll leave the duplicates out so I can grab them real quick. Alright, so now if it was the 1, 2, 3, you may be wondering, like, oh, hey, hasn't somebody like digitized all these or available from somebody? Isn't somebody reproducing these? Yeah, for the other tester, yeah. I think they basically are all available. I don't know if free or pay. You can either like download a graphic and make your own cards or buy new ones, reproduction ones. Nobody's done the 121 that I know of. There have been a few efforts over the years, but like I say, it's just not as popular. Alright. That's going to be it for now. I hope you guys found this interesting. You will see me use this when I work on the Philco, and you'll hear me maybe talk about some of these same things, but alright, I'll test one tube so you can see it, how this works right now. So I just plugged it in. It means we are good to go. I pulled out a 6SN7 for a TV I just started working on and need to test it. So first thing is the fun part. Find the card, which in this unorganized mess can take a little while. Alright, here we go. 6SN7. So you push down this big plunger, you stick in your card, it clicks, you let go, and there's a light that comes on which tells me that, hey, this tube has 2 sections. Cool. And then we just pop the tube in, and we hit the line, line adjust, which is, oops, yeah, it's good right there. And wait for the tube to warm up, and if there are any shorts, these would start lighting up, and it's a rather sensitive short tester. I have overhauled this. I trust that it's working properly. And once the tube is warmed up, to test it, you just push this button. One side's good. Hold down this, do the other side. It's good. I'm done. That's all I had to do. It's a good 6SN7. That's why I like this tester. When you have a TV that has 20, 30 tubes in it, you imagine this comes in handy. Alright, that's going to be it for now. If anybody has any thoughts, opinions, or more info about these cards for Hickok 121, let me know. Thanks for watching.